How's it going, guys? I'm the Dorky Deviant and I am back. I've been away for a little while and it's been a little bit not the best start to the year. The first couple of months I wasn't really able to record anything. It really sucked, but I was dealing with some medication changes and that kind of thing, and I was really down and out and couldn't really do much for the first part of the year. But now I'm finally back, and I have quite a backlog of figures in Ami boxes, which I'll put some B-roll of my Ami fortress of boxes that have accumulated over the time. So yeah, I'm going to try to tackle some of these unboxings and just kind of shoot this new video and get the ball rolling. So with that being said, today's video theme is going to be beach and swimsuit wear. So I've got some very sexy swimsuit ladies to unbox here, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first box, we have an Ami package. Yes, I opened it already to look into it and check it out, but I have not pulled the figure out yet or really gotten to take a deep look at it. So here we go, we have an Ami card. I think this is actually from like December or something. It has been a while. I've had this sitting for a good amount of time, but yeah, let's go ahead and open it up and see what's in here. Oh yeah, you already know. Okay, so here we have my first Supersonico figure. Some of y'all may have seen this figure already. It's pretty spicy. I really like the pose on this one, but yeah, let's check out my first Supersonico figure. So, boom, here is the main figure here. Let's see if I can get her base out. There we go. A little bit of a weird way to pack her base, but it was secure, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Okay. Here is her base. She comes with a nice fluffy base. Look at that. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so here she is, and she looks very nice. The fuzzy base actually adds a nice little touch and kind of switches it up for her. Although I will say, like, it doesn't really invoke like the beach vibes with the fuzzy base. But hey, she could just be in a photo shoot, just trying to do some modeling stuff, so that's cool. Now, there's a lot to really like about this figure. One of the first things that really stands out to me is her headset, like this chrome. I don't know if this is real metal. It might be. It kind of actually looks like it is. So that's really cool. Maybe some actual metal on here. Obviously, I love her facial expression. That was one of my favorite things about this figure, and why one of the big reasons I decided to go for it. Her little scrunchie here is pretty cool. It's got these little like a glitter effect put into the kind of like some translucent plastic that they use for that part. So yeah, her bathing suit is really nice. Obviously, there's really not much to her bathing suit. It's almost the exact same color as her skin. It's just got this little black outline that looks very well painted. The whole figure actually looks very well painted. There's some shading kind of like in certain spots, like in the crevices and of like her thighs here, where her thigh meets her hip and everything, and right here on the knees and some other places. So the shading is on point. I think I forgot to mention, this is a 1/7 scale by Wave Company. I don't think I've gotten a Wave figure before, but judging from this one, they do a pretty nice job. I can't really complain about this. I was kind of a little worried about what she might look like when she actually came out of the box, but it looks good. And obviously this is a super spicy figure, and Supersonico, as we all know, is a very well endowed character. So yeah, I've always really liked her design. This figure in particular is very nice. And I think the last thing I really need to talk about for this one is her hair. It's also very nice. It's got kind of like a little pearlescent top coat on it. It's got a little pinkish purplish, and which fades into a a little bit of blue, and then like behind her hair on the inside right here, it's got a lot more of that blue. And the contrast is a really nice color contrast for it. I don't know if that's how all the hair is on the Supersonico figures, but on this figure it actually looks very nice. Her facial expression and her pose, the whole, like, her hands are behind her head and she's just kind of got this nice sexy little pose and facial expression going on. The culture, my friends, the culture is there. So I would say the sculpt on this one is really nice. It's just overall a very solid figure. I really like it. I'm actually a little bit more impressed with it than I thought I was going to be. I wasn't sure exactly what to expect with it, but this is actually a very nice figure, and I'm glad I picked it up. The swimsuit Supersonico from Wave definitely gets a thumbs up from me. Okay, now we got our second box here. So there's actually 2 figures in this box, so let's go ahead and get out the first one. Okay, so we got bubble wrap. Now this one I'm pretty looking forward to. I got this one from Yahoo Auctions Japan, and luckily I was able to win this auction for a decent price. It was kind of on a whim. It was kind of like a impulse purchase. But it was a good price, and I'm glad to have her in the collection now. So let's go ahead and take a look at what figure it is. Boom, look at this. The Darkness swimsuit. Oh yes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box right here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now let's check out her base. Okay, so no pegs or anything. She just has like a little indention in the base here where she just kind of slides right in and just fits perfectly in this little kneeling position that she has right here. So obviously this is Darkness from Konosuba. This is a figure by Kadokawa, their Katie Cole series line. I think that's what it says. But yeah, so Darkness is actually my favorite character from Konosuba. She's obviously, I guess, the most cultured in the show. She's kind of like the most perverted of them. Definitely has the most, probably fetishes. Little just quirks and things like that of the group from the Konosuba girls, and I think she's probably the sexiest too. I do like Aqua a lot as well. I like Megumin as well, but for my own personal tastes, yes, definitely Darkness is the way to go for me. So to get into this figure, obviously this is the from a series that I think they made 3 figures, one of each Konosuba girl, Darkness, Aqua, and Megumin. The other thing I forgot to mention earlier was that these are actually going on my swimsuit shelf. So I do have a swimsuit portion or detolf shelf planned, and these 3 figures at the very least are going to be on it. I'll probably get some more and throw them on there, especially once I finish like the Konosuba set and I get another Aqua and Megumin to go along with her. But yes, let's go ahead and get into the details on this girl right here. Okay, so there's a lot that's pretty on point with this figure. I'm actually going to start off with her face and her hair. Sculpting is very nice on this. Her hair kind of has like this little flowing thing going on, and it really accentuates that with this little sash that she's got around her waist and hanging on her arms and whatnot. That adds a nice little like flowing kind of like beachy element to it as well. Her eyes look very good. Her mouth and whole facial expression I really like. Looks like she's in the middle of eating some ice cream. and is looking at something in the distance and probably having some lewd thoughts or something like that, and she's blushing. So I think that's really cute. This figure is very nice in that sense. I also like these little details in her hair here. She's got the little hair ties with the little flowers on them. That's very cute as well. And her orange bathing suit, I think, matches her aesthetic very nicely. It's got these other little like gold, like gem little pieces that are on it as well. And she's got this little like green bandana kind of wrapped around her lower leg. Not entirely sure what that's about, but nonetheless very cool. And we can't forget one of the main things about this figure is the ice cream. Obviously she's eating some ice cream and is too distracted by whatever she's looking at in the distance, and it is just melting a little bit, and there's just a little bit of ice cream drip just kind of right there on the top of the booba, which obviously is another very nice touch. I think this one is probably the best of the three when it comes to this one and the Aqua and Megumin. They look okay, they're pretty cute, but I think this one is definitely the best one, and I'm pretty sure it's the most sought after one as well. So I really like her pose in this. She's on her knees. I mean, come on. That part I really like. And she really looks more kind of innocent here with the pose anyway, until you get to like the facial expression, and then you're kind of like, oh, she's got something running through her mind. And one of the other really cool things is the sash itself. It's got these little like white and yellow kind of like spots on it, and kind of like this little pattern thing, and kind of like a little iridescent blue on it. And she looks, the sash kind of gives it almost this kind of like angelic look to it. I think one of the main things is there's not a whole lot of shading, but I'm also just like, I don't think this figure really needed a whole lot. You know, like the lack of shading I think really kind of lends to her skin tone, and there is a little bit of shading on her skin. There's just not a whole lot. Okay, so the last thing to really talk about is her base. It's basically just a little kind of gritty tan base that's supposed to look like the beach and look like sand, and I think it pulls it off real well. It just kind of looks at this, gives the whole figure like this whole beachy kind of breezy vibe. You know, her hair is kind of flowing a little bit, the sash is kind of flowing, so it looks like she's at the beach with a little breeze going by. I think it looks really good. This figure was definitely very well executed. So yeah, I think that's going to be all for this one, so let's look at the next figure. Okay, now for the last figure. It's actually pretty big. Ooh, what could this be? NANI? 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 Okay, now here we have Yoko Littner from Gurren Lagann. Okay, so this Yoko is actually a Ichiban Kuji. It's a pretty old one. It's from 2013. I was actually looking at what Yoko I wanted, and this is the one I went with. It's just the B prize from an Ichiban Kuji that came out like almost like 10 years ago now. So yeah, she looks pretty good. I'm gonna grab her out of the box. Like her little skull emblem right there. Very nice. We love that design. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get her put together completely. Also comes with this little Buta. He's the little mole that's is one of the characters in the show. And we have my first figure that has a support stand. So this should be fun. Let's see. Okay, something like that, I think. That looks about right. I'm going to take the support stand off for now until I get her actually set up and on display. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at her and talk about the details of this figure. Okay, so I think for the time that this figure came out, this was actually pretty nice for an Ichiban Kuji. One of the first things that really stands out to me are the shoes have like this gloss finish, as do her little leggings or her little pantyhose or tube socks or whatever those are. They both got this little sheen to them, and that's just like it gives it a different feel from the rest of the figure, which is primarily matte. So that off the bat looks really nice. And now let's get into the gun. Like she's got her little gun here that she wields in the show. She's obviously the little sniper girl in the show, and her gun looks pretty solid. It's kind of like a little matte too. It looks a little bit plasticky. The whole figure kind of looks maybe a little bit plasticky, but that's what you're going to expect from a Ichiban Kuji and more of like a prize figure thing. Another thing of note is that she was already on the stand in the box. So really the only thing I had to put on was Buta and this little piece on the tip of her gun here. The sculpt isn't too bad. It's not the best. The paint job the same. It's okay, especially for like 2013 standards. It's actually not too terrible. All things considered, I was actually thinking it might be a little less than what it is, but it is a prize figure, so you have to look at it that way. But for a prize figure, I think for the most part she looks pretty good. Everything is, for the most part, the right color. Her little sash up here that's around her neck, it's like independent. I don't know if her head comes off or what the deal is there, but because of that, there's a little bit of paint transfer on it, but you can probably hardly even really see. The next thing is kind of like her face. I think for the most part it looks fine. I think her mouth could be maybe a little bit better, but I think for the most part it's okay. It looks just a little bit kind of off, just ever so slightly. The eyes, on the other hand, look fine. That looks okay. Her little hair pendant right here, it's another thing that actually has like this more like kind of glossy finish to it, so it kind of breaks up all the plasticky, more matte looking parts of it. And then her hair sculpt, it's not the greatest either. However, it does look good for the most part, and I think it really just kind of gets the job done just the way it is. And then we got the little chopsticks in her hair to kind of use as her hair tie type thing, or her little like hair stick or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what those are called. But yeah, all that looks good. Her bathing suit top looks good, looks basically just like how it should. And then of course her belt, the paint is a little bit off, but like the studded belt, oh yeah, I'm digging that. Studded accessories are definitely okay with me, definitely something I'm into. Really like that about her. And her base, well, this is about as simple as a base as you can get. It's just kind of like a clear with like a little texture on the top. Base not super great, but it's acceptable. It could be worse. It could be like a weird off color that doesn't make any sense. So if they're gonna do a base like this, definitely clear is the way to go for most things. Pop-up parade. So I think for the most part with this figure, you know, obviously it's Ichiban Kuji. It's not gonna have like all the detail and paint job of like a scale, but I think for the most part it's actually pretty acceptable. It was a lot less expensive than like a scale figure for her. I think this figure was like $70 or something. So I think all in all, I still really like this figure a lot. It was a little bit better than I expected. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of this out of this figure, and I was kind of worried for a second there after I saw some pictures on my figure collection. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should have gotten another one, but looking at this one now, I think it's actually pretty good, save for a couple of nitpicks, but overall, I'm still glad I got this one, and it was just a little bit more than I expected, so that's good. Alright, well that's going to do it for this video. Here we have the swimsuit ladies. I'm definitely planning to, at some point, get some more swimsuit figures. So, yeah, the next task at hand is really to just kind of figure out what I'm going to film next or what video I'm going to do next. I think it's probably either going to be all my shonen figures that I need to unbox. There's a lot of them that have been sitting around for a while that I need to do, but I might also do the Saitama one. I got a lot of Saitama figures and I got a whole theme for that video too. Those might be a bit longer though, so I'm not entirely sure which one, but if y'all want to choose between one of those, let me know in the comments. That would be great as well. But yeah, until next time, we'll talk to y'all later. Take it easy.